What would you do if the clock was racing against you, if your entire future, your inheritance, your business, everything you had ever built, depended on just one condition: finding a wife by midnight? Most men would laugh at the absurdity of it. But for Daniel Carter, a man who had fought his entire life to build something meaningful, it wasn't a joke. It was the last chance to honor his late father's will and save the family legacy. And as the clock struck 11:59 p.m., when his heart had already given up, there was a desperate knock at his door. A woman stood there, her hair wet from the rain, her eyes filled with a mix of fear and defiance. She had no idea that in 1 minute, her choice would change both their lives forever. Daniel Carter sat in his office, staring at the grandfather clock that loomed in the corner of the room. Its pendulum swung with cruel precision, each tick hammering his heart. He ran a hand through his messy dark hair, his jaw clenched tight. 59 minutes, he muttered under his breath. His father's lawyer had been clear: marry by midnight, or lose everything. The condition had seemed ridiculous when he first read it. But tonight, sitting alone in his grand but empty mansion, it felt like his father's final test. The Carter family empire wasn't just wealth, it was his father's blood, sweat, and decades of sacrifice. Daniel had promised to protect it. But he had been so consumed with work, with proving himself, that he had never built a life outside of it. No wife. No family. Just endless meetings and contracts. Now, with less than an hour left, reality pressed down on him like a weight. He had tried calling old friends, reaching out to business partners, even asking women he had dated casually before. Every door was closed. Every no reminded him how cold and distant he had been all these years. By 11:50, Daniel slumped in his chair. The rain tapped against the window, the storm outside echoing the storm in his chest. He thought of his father, of the arguments they'd had, his father always saying, "Son, money without love will bury you. Build a home, not just an empire." Daniel never listened. Until tonight, when the truth stared him in the face. He had nothing. And soon, he would lose everything. Then, the knock. It was sharp, urgent, desperate. He froze, his breath caught. Another knock followed, louder. He rose, his feet heavy, his mind racing. Who would come at this hour? When he opened the door, the storm rushed in, and so did she. Her name was Emily Hayes. She was soaked from head to toe, her coat clinging to her trembling body. Her eyes, wide, stormy blue, met his with defiance, but also fear. She clutched a small suitcase, as if she had run away from something, or someone. I need a place to stay," she whispered, her voice breaking against the sound of thunder. "Just for tonight." Daniel stared at her, stunned. Of all the nights. Of all the minutes. 11:59. His mind screamed with the impossible. Thought, could this be it? Could she? But as he looked into her eyes, he realized, this wasn't just about him anymore. She wasn't a savior sent to rescue his fortune. She was a woman standing on the edge of something herself. Daniel let her in, shutting the door against the storm. Emily dropped her suitcase, shivering, her hair dripping onto the polished floor. "Thank you," she murmured, her voice still shaky. "I'll be gone by morning." But Daniel's heart raced. Midnight was seconds away. He had no time to think, no time to weigh the madness of what he was about to ask. His father's words echoed again, "Money without love will bury you." And yet, in Emily's tired, searching eyes, he didn't see a stranger. He saw someone fighting her own battle, carrying her own scars. "Emily," he said softly, "this may sound insane, but I don't have time to explain. Would you marry me? Right now?" The words hung heavy in the air. Emily blinked, confusion flashing across her face, then anger. "Marry you? I don't even know you." Daniel swallowed hard. "I know. And I can't explain everything. But if I don't marry before midnight, I lose everything my father built. I need a wife, and you knocked on my door at the exact moment I was about to lose hope. Emily stepped back, shaking her head. You can't just use me like that. I'm not a transaction. Daniel's chest tightened. No. You're not. And I don't want to use you. I want to help you too, if you'll let me. You came here for a reason, didn't you? You're running from something. Her silence told him he was right. Tears welled in her eyes, though she tried to hide them. Finally, her shoulders sagged. I don't want to go back, she whispered. I can't. Daniel took a step closer, his voice softer now. Then don't. Stay. Marry me tonight, even if just on paper. And tomorrow, if you regret it, I'll let you go. No questions asked. But tonight, please. The clock struck midnight. Emily's heart pounded. She could say no, walk away, and return to the pain she had escaped. Or she could leap into the unknown, trusting a man she had just met. Her hand trembled as she reached for his. All right, she whispered. Yes. In that moment, Daniel didn't just gain a wife, he found someone who reminded him that love wasn't about perfection or planning. It was about timing, about two broken souls colliding when they needed each other most. The marriage certificate was signed before the storm quieted. And though it began as desperation, it grew into something real, because midnight didn't mark the end. It marked the beginning. And so, Daniel and Emily discovered that sometimes, life doesn't give you the luxury of careful choices. Sometimes, it pushes you into madness at the last minute, where faith becomes the only bridge you can walk. He needed a wife by midnight. She needed a reason to believe in tomorrow. And when the clock struck 12, they both found more than they ever expected. Because sometimes, love doesn't arrive early. Sometimes, it comes at 11:59, right before you lose everything, so you can realize what truly matters.